Hello everyone, welcome! I'm Ivy Molina and today I'm going to be going over who my top 10 characters are for the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky trilogy. Before I get started in this video, I want to just preface two things really quick. Number one, this is my list of top 10 characters. This isn't who is the best to use in party or who has the most development, etc. It's literally the characters I like. I will add an addendum to this momentarily. Number two, we will be going into spoiler territory. I will be covering characters from all three games, and some of these characters are not even in the first game. If you are avoiding spoilers, now is the time to go. Okay, now that folks are gone, here is my addendum. The addendum is as follows. You will not see Joshua, Kevin, or Cassius on this list. Argue with your grandpappy, not with me. So here we go. This is I'm gonna say it again, my. I sound like them damn seagulls from Finding Nemo. List for my top 10 characters in Trails in the Sky. Chloe makes her first appearance in Trails in the Sky FC. She is a charismatic character who seems to care about those around her, as being evidenced by how much she visits and cares for the orphanage, how much she cares for her classmates and her new allies, especially Estelle and Joshua. We find out much later that she is Princess Claudia of Liberl and next in line to rule. While I truly love Chloe as a character, she is a little lower in my list. I never really used her in my party, and some of her problems have never truly resonated with me, as it seems that the problems she goes through leans more towards seeming balance between a quote normal unquote person and a person of nobility. Don't get me wrong though, just because she's number 10 on this list does not mean I don't appreciate her and the narrative value that she brings. Reese is a very interesting character for me. When she made her appearance in Sky the Third, I was immediately in love with her overall design. I am a sucker when JRPGs give us something that we wouldn't expect. So having this sister nun looking character wielding this big ass sword and being one of the strongest characters in the third was already a positive tick in my book. I am so glad that they did not go towards that normal JRPG nun church healer archetype. I put her a lot lower on my list despite loving her because I felt like I never really got to spend enough time with her as she was only in the third game. While Kevin and Reese both mourn the loss of Rufina, Reese's sister, the narrative really seemed to give us about 90% of how Kevin deals with it, and I feel like it really takes away from a lot of the moments that we could have had with Reese, what she's thinking about, how she feels about the death of her sister, and while we do get some insight, I feel like I could have used more. While she was a staple character and we weren't allowed to switch her out from her party, I wish they would have given us the choice to at least keep her or Kevin, and I promise you she would have been chosen every single time. Miss Schwartz, honey. Julia is kick-ass in all senses of the word. She is loyal to Chloe and the royal family. She demonstrates strength and rank status, all while practicing humility. Julia becomes a permanent member while the team is on the Libra Arc segment of Sky SC, and she is amazing. Balancing her strength and arts makes her a well-rounded character for any team. I will say that what led me to put her lower on the list was actually her door in Sky the Third. We had a whole door of Julia not knowing what to do with a day off she was granted. One of the things I wish she would have really gotten from that was a sense of independence and a more profound discovery of my time is my time. She was definitely loyal to a fault. We were robbed of moments showing more individualistic thoughts as opposed to what we do get, which is her logic as a captain and not as Julia the person. Chat. Mueller is fine. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. That man is fine. He is designed so well and is really strong. We also get him alongside Julia in Sky SC and get him really early on in the third. I really enjoyed using him because before getting Richard, he was probably one of the strongest in the game. Mueller serves as a foil for one of my lesser-liked characters, Olivier, but at least Olivier isn't Joshua, Kevin, or Cassie speaks to those three. He tends to bring Olivier back to reality, keeps him in check, calls him out on his bullshit, and can be a bit of a shady queen, which we love. Y'all, the one thing that does suck about Mueller though is his freaking grid alignment. It is the worst. Okay, so I'm not fond of villain stories per se, and when people go from being evil to turning good, I'm not really that big of a fan. But I think Richard's development was so well done. Richard was a man who was blinded by patriotism and wanting to do the right thing for the country of Liberl. While his methods were not great, the sake, integrity, and love for Liberl was always at the forefront. He is our main villain in FC. The one moment though that made me fall in love with him was the scene after the Tea Party in SC. Cassius is questioning Amalthea for her involvement, and when Richard comes in, you can tell that Richard has had time to reflect, to change, to realize the error of his ways, and instructs Amalthea to do the right thing and change for the better. In the third, we see various moments of Richard constantly trying to do right by his decision, leaving the army and trying to live a righteous life. Also, when we get him as a party member in third, he is stupid strong. He was absolutely endgame party for me for the third. I am a sucker for a good redemption story, and Richard just gave that to me. I know his name is pronounced Agate, but that name sounds too close to something which has been used against me in a harmful way, and for that reason and for my own comfort level, I will be calling him Agate. Just like I will continue to call Titus from Final Fantasy X Titus and not Titus. I am a sucker with Bad Boys Gone Good narrative. We first meet Agate and he seems like such an asshole to Estelle and Joshua at first, but it's really when he meets Tita that we start to see him warm up to her. Agate is a super strong character and was in my end party for the end of FC. His story development is incredible, and his relationship with Tita is super endearing. We find out in SC that his younger sister's no longer with us, and he holds so much responsibility for that, which truly allows us to empathize with him. Also, seeing him be somewhat terrified of interactions with Tita's mother in the third is so funny to me. He has just been fleshed out super well, and I feel like I've gotten to see all different sides of Agate. First of all, how could we not love Tita? I know she should probably be higher on the list because she's such a fan favorite. She is the little sister we all want after all, the tech guru, one of the first characters to offer us options when it comes to AoE attacks. Tita has it all. Seeing her grow up and experience a lot of different betrayals, yet having the purity to see the good in people even if they seem bad, shines bright, especially in her interactions with Ren. We see Tita's family life fleshed out, seeing her grandfather, mother, and father. We see the extended big brother in Agate, and we see how much she loves everyone in the party and how much they all love her, especially Estelle. Tita is so well fleshed out, and she is a character that I enjoy so much, and she was absolutely in my end party for FC. I will say that when I first met Ren, I thought she was so obnoxious. Having to look for her while she played hide and go seek in the Royal Villa was one of the most annoying things I did in SC. Once we get her and she develops a closeness with Estelle and Tita, it warmed my heart, but I was overall concerned about where her parents were. Then at the tea party, we find out that she is in fact Ouroboros and that she is Enforcer number 15, the Angel of Slaughter, and oh, y'all, I was mad. I was livid. I thought to myself, this little bitch did all this to be evil. And not only this, when you have your first enforcer fight with her and she uses that attack, I think it's called Renegade, at the beginning of the battle and wipes out like 3 to all of your party members that first time because you didn't know that that attack had death blow on it, she was definitely the one that I hated. But after this fight and seeing how lonely she was and how reliant she was on Pater Matter, Pater Mater, however you want to pronounce it, I started to feel bad for her. When we get her as our party member in the 3rd, it's super exciting and she plays super well. And then you hit door number 15. We all know about door number 15 if you played this game. Door 15 destroyed me. I felt so bad for even thinking this little bitch did all this to be evil. Everything I ever thought about her that was negative was erased, and honestly, she deserves to be protected at all costs. She is all of our daughters, our little sisters, our everything. She has to be protected. Estelle is the equivalent of Usagi from Sailor Moon for me. We start off with a very immature junior bracer who tends to be annoying, whiny, selfish, and makes Joshua seem to be like a shining exemplar. He's not though. I can't stand his ass. And at some point in the future, I can make a video as to why I dislike Joshua. Again, argue with your grandpappy. She quickly allows her allies, friends, and people she meets along the way influence her positive development to the point where she becomes fully capable, fully aware, and fully responsible for herself. She begins to be an individual that people can trust. And the one thing I absolutely love about Estelle is that as she grows, we see less of her immaturity and more of her huge, tremendous heart. Estelle is one of the best protagonists I've seen in the game in a while, and honestly, I miss her. Shout out to Bestel, as the fandom loves to call her. And lastly, I think that after a while, we kind of started to eliminate the title of Cassius's daughter, and we really start to see her as her own, which I'm glad because I also can't stand Cassius. And at the number 1 spot, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause this video and comment who you think my number 1 choice will be. Once you do, comment your reaction after you see who my number 1 is. And for my number 1 choice, Gilbert. Gilbert is a character we first meet in FC. We see him as a reliable aide to the mayor, and he truly demonstrates the intelligent to plan a who the fuck am I kidding? No one likes Gilbert. I don't even like Gilbert. Shara is a diva, an icon. She is the moment. I would also like to point out that she is one of the few characters I see in the Sky series with darker skin than the rest of the characters. And as a brown person, I automatically stand. Shara is the hot mess express. She's drunk, she's flirty, she's witty, she's funny, she's blunt, she's empathetic. Shara is absolutely a multi-leveled character, showing us a variety of attributes. We see the best parts of her, the worst parts of her, the emotional parts with her, and as she references her past, she never forgets who she is. During SC, I grew to love her even more, as her development arc with Luciola being her foil enforcer really hits home. Around Luciola, it's almost as though Shara retracts into this childlike state with seeing someone who essentially raised her and influenced her to be the person she is today. Also, I love how much versatility and gameplay you get with Shara. She can either be a really good attacker or a hell of a magic user. Y'all, during the 3rd, she was my end party with Richard, and the way she was hitting with that magic, ooh-wee! She is my favorite character in Sky. So that's my top 10 list of characters whom I love in the Sky series. Let me know who your favorite characters are, even if it is Joshua, Cassius, or Kevin. I promise I won't argue with you. We're all entitled to our opinions, and our experiences with gaming are always going to be different. That's the beauty of it. And just as a reminder, be sure to comment on this video, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this with your friends. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.